alaikum everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of Children's ABTV. I'm your host Yusuf, and joining me in today's show is Haida. Thank you for tuning in. Today marks the death of anniversary of Lady Khadija, peace be upon her. She died on the 10th day of the holy month of Ramadan.
She was the only wife of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as long as she lived. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The four greatest women of the world are Khadija, Maryam, Fatima, and Asiya."
Lady Khadija, peace be upon her, was the first to hear from the Holy Prophet that Allah has chosen him to his last messenger, and so she became the first to believe in Islam.
Imam Ali, peace be upon him, and she were the first to declare that Allah is one and that Muhammad, peace be upon him, is his messenger. She was the first person with Imam Ali to join the Prophet in prayers.
When forced to leave the city of Mecca and live in a valley, Lady Khadija, peace be upon her, stood by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, her husband, to share her hardship.
For 3 long years, she had to suffer hunger and thirst, but she never complained and was always cheerful.
When she returned to her house in Mecca, all her wealth was gone. Lady Khadija, peace be upon her, fell ill. Her 7-year-old daughter Fatima was by her side. She hugged her daughter and passed away. Her death filled the Prophet's heart with deep pain and sorrow.
She was a remarkable woman who is remembered for all of her contributions to Islam, and how blessed she is that we remember her in this holy month.
Let's now go to the Quran recitation to kickstart today's episode.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف صدق الله العلي العظيم.
The death of Khadija and Abu Talib, 619 AD. The year of their deaths is known as the Year of Sorrow because the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, lost his beloved wife and his uncle and protector, Abu Talib.
The internet is a place we go to play games with our friends. We learn a lot of different things and keep up with the trends. We sign into different places, we tap and click, but sometimes on the internet we forget to stop and think. The internet can be a dangerous place if we don't know all the rules, but watching CyberSafe can help me pick up all the tools. Salam alaikum and welcome to an episode of CyberSafe, the show that teaches you how to use the internet safely. In today's episode we will discuss email security. Emails have been around for some time now, and they have become a main form of communication in today's world. It might not be something that you use yourself, but in some schools, children are expected to use emails, so this episode will be useful for you, or if you generally want to know how to be safe online when using emails, then stay tuned. If you're setting up an email, make sure that you get help from an adult, so they can help you with privacy controls and settings. There are kid-friendly email service providers. For example, KOL, Kids and AOL, which also offers games, movies and other stuff aimed for tweens and teens. There's also Zilla Mail, Zuba and Kids Email, but your parents will need to pay for them. Toko Mail and Gmail are free, but Gmail you have to be 13 years or over. Other companies that provide child-friendly email services are Kids Safe Mail and Kid Mail. There are dangers when it comes to using emails, because sometimes you can receive spam mail, which looks so real and sounds so real. So you have to be careful, because spam mail is sometimes made to trick people. If you use a kid's email provider like the ones we mentioned, then you can customize the email so only people you know send you messages, because it will be people in your contact list. It's really important to understand that emails are different to social media. So when you speak to your friends, you might use acronyms like LOL and BRB, with lots of emojis, and sometimes you might shorten words from OK to K. That is socially acceptable when it comes to instant messaging, but definitely not the way emails are written. Emails are more formal, so if you have done formal writing in school by practicing to write letters, you will know that they need to have good English and not be in a chit-chatty way. Finally, if you do ever use emails for communication, then remember the internet rule about being respectful to people, because if you are mean to someone through email and you click send, you can't unsend. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. We've nearly come to the end today, but not before we visit our internet safety rhyme. I keep my information safe, I don't let people know my name, address or number or which school I go. I never talk to strangers if they're not a real life friend. No matter who they say they are, it could be just pretend. If I take a photo of a friend, I'm always well aware to ask if it's okay with them before I click and share. I'm always kind to others in the playground and on screen. I never write or tell them things that are hurtful, bad or mean. I always ask an adult before I go online. If we look at things together, I know I will be fine. If I ever see something that makes me scared or sad, I tell an adult I can trust and it won't be so bad.
Praying and fasting are all part of our fiqh and our beliefs, and fantastic fiqh and where to learn it is now back. Stand by for more.
Salam alaikum and welcome to Fantastic Fiqh and where to learn it. My name is Abbas Ali and today's topic is about wudu and tayammum. Wudu is a special way of washing that makes us spiritually clean. Wudu is made up of washing the face, washing the two arms, right first then left, wiping called masih of the front head, wiping the upper part of the 2 feet, right first then left. When do we need to do wudu? During salah, performing tawaf 7 times around the Kaaba during Hajj and Umrah, and reading from the Quran. When is wudu mustahab or recommended? Entering the mosque, going to sleep, controlling your anger, and entering the shrines of our Holy Prophet and Imams. Now let's take a look at the conditions of wudu. What are they? Making a niyyah. I am doing wudu for the pleasure of Allah. Using water that is tahir, which means pure, and mubah, which means taken with permission. All body parts must be tahir. Step by step and without interruptions, and this is called tartib and muwalat. Now that we've learnt what wudu is, let's take a look at tayammum. Tayammum is another way to spiritually cleanse yourself, but we only do tayammum when there is no water available, it is not possible to get water due to illness or fear, it is harmful to one's health, there is only enough water to make body and clothes tahir, and there isn't enough time to perform wudu or ghusl. You can do tayammum using the following materials. Earth as the first option. If that is not available, then sandy clay or stone, dust, snow or ice, or using a mud wall. How do we perform tayammum? First we have to make a niyyah, intention. I am performing tayammum qurbatan ila Allah ta'ala. Secondly, put both of your hands on the thing that you are doing tayammum on. Example, earth.
Then put both of your palms where your hair starts to grow and pull them down onto the tip of your nose. After that, wipe the entire part of the back of the right hand with the palm of the left hand and repeat the same with the right hand over the left. It is mustahab to strike the hands on the earth again and wipe the back of the hands again. And that's how you do tayammum. I hope you guys made some notes and got all that. Well, that's all I have for today's episode. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again very soon in a fantastic fiqh and where to learn it.
Dua al-Iftitah, which we read every day during the holy month of Ramadan, is actually divided into 3 parts.
The first part of the dua praises Allah. The second focuses on the divine leaders, the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and the 14 infallibles. And the last part of the dua focuses on the problems and obstacles of the reappearance of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam.
It's time to look at another extract from his beautiful supplication.
Assalamu alaikum. How wonderful the world is. Mountains, rivers, forests, farmland, lakes and grassland, that all evidence Allah's bounty and grace. How blessed we are to be able to communicate with the magnificent Creator who brought everything into existence and has made it possible for us to survive and benefit from all of His bright and beautiful signs. He facilitated means whereby all of us may draw benefit from the light of guidance that He sent down with the Holy Messenger and his progeny, whom He appointed exemplars and role models for humankind. May Allah Almighty enable us to be included under the supervision of the owner of the time, Imam al-Mahdi, who is always with us, illuminating our way, even though we're not able to see him. Imam al-Mahdi shares his words in the inspiring Dua al-Iftitah that all believers read during the holy month of Ramadan. Let us listen to a part of this dua and find out what it means.
الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادله ولا شبيه يشاكله ولا ظهير يعاضده قهر بعزته الأعزاء وتواضع لعظمته العظماء فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء.
In this part of the dua, the words we hear say, all praise be to Allah, whom none is able to challenge, whom none can equal, who needs no one to assist him, who has caused everyone of rank to bow before him, and has humbled all who hold authority. His unlimited power encompasses all things. These beautiful words move my heart as a humble servant of Allah and as an avid follower of Ahl Bayt. Praise be to Allah, under whose protection we all are, today and every day of our lives.
We often think that people from 1,000 years ago were living in the Dark Ages. But in Muslim civilization from the 7th century onward, there were amazing advances and inventions that still influence our everyday lives.
Ibn Abbas, an 11th century scholar, created inks and dyes that enhanced rich colors in Muslim carpets and helped to launch them from practical to fashionable. Muslim carpets soon became a status symbol, especially in Europe. King Henry VII is believed to have owned more than 400 Muslim carpets.
Many years after the death of Imam Ali, peace be upon him, a man called Sayyid Razi put together all the hadith, letters and sermons by Imam Ali in a book called The Peak of Eloquence or Nahj al-Balagha. Let's take a look at one of these sermons now.
My dearest child, have I ever told you about the time when there was a man who lived long before we did? The first man to accept the faith of the Prophet, Ali son of Talib. He was a wise man who entrusted us with his words. We mustn't ever forget about these words. Now, my child, read this sermon out loud for me, will you, dear?
Yes, Grandma. The bat. An example of his delicate product, a marvel of his creation, and a sample of his profound wisdom is what we see in the bat, which shrinks from the daylight, although daylight moves everything else to action, and is active in the night, although night stops the activity of every other living being.
Oh, that was lovely. That was lovely to hear, my little one. Now let's close this book and keep it in a safe place before we go to sleep.
Where shall I put it?
Put it on that shelf, dear.
The one over here?
Yes, right over there, next to the red book.
Here?
Aha, that's the one.
شهر الخير والغفران رمضان رمضان شهر الخير والغفران رمضان رمضان شهر الخير والغفران شهر الله جانا جانا والبركات غطانا شهر الله جانا جانا والبركات غطانا رمضان رمضان شهر الخير والغفران يا رمضان يا رمضان
Honest means you actually saying the truth. Like if your mom said, did you do that? And you say, no, that's not being honest. If you say, yes, I did that, you're being honest.
Honesty means telling the truth. By telling the truth, others will respect and trust you.
Not only your life will be easy, you'll be blessed by Allah.
Because if you don't be honest, you'll feel really guilty and you'll, like in your body, you'll feel your heart starting to hurt.
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was called Al-Sadaq and Al-Amin, the truthful and the trustworthy.
We should be honest to everyone, as when we are not, we are listening to the whispers of shaitan. We should also be honest to ourselves, and sometimes when we think we are right, we are actually wrong. You should be honest to everybody because it will help you tell the truth and be a better person. Because if you don't say the truth, you'll always get caught and you'll get in even more trouble, and
Also, it's bad and you won't and you'll feel guilt in you.
You must always tell the truth because lying is one of the greatest sins of Islam.
Assalamu alaikum again. Guess who found another poem which has left me scratching at my head? On the bright side, that means I can talk to you guys again so that you can help me. Okay, so I'm going to read this new poem, and you're going to help me figure out what it's about. Again. Does everyone understand? Awesome. We've lived together all our lives. We would give each other high fives. We'd get excited when a new member arrives and teach each other how to swim and dive. We always loved to fight and play and go outside every day. We would gather together to pray and hear what we had to say. We would watch movies all day long, have pillow fights and play along. We built characters and made us strong. We decided against all that was wrong. We made each other happy, rode our bikes until we scraped our knee. We accepted each other, you and me. We loved each other dearly. Who am I? Have you guessed? Because I think I have this time. Siblings! Thank you so much for coming to the Rhyming Factory again. I promise, even though I would love to see you again, that I will figure out what the next poem is about. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
اللهم رب شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن.
The Wafadi merchant was sitting in a ship with his slave, and they were going to Basra. Bahlul and some others were also in the ship. The slave started crying because he was afraid of the ship's turbulent movements. All the travellers became annoyed at this. Bahlul asked the slave's master permission to quiet him by some advice. The merchant agreed. Bahlul immediately gave the order to throw the slave into the sea. His command was carried out. When the slave was near death, he was rescued. After that experience, the slave quietly sat in a corner of the ship. The travellers asked Bahlul the reason why this act quieted the slave. Bahlul replied, "This slave did not know how comfortable the ship was or what greatness and value it held. When he was thrown into the sea, he understood that the ship is a comfortable and relieving place."
اللهم رب شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن. رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا.
And you can now follow this dua too on the 10th day of Ramadan. O Allah, on this day, make me among those who rely on you, who you consider successful, and place me among those who are near to you by your favor, O goal of the seekers.
Well, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you so much for joining us.
CABTV is back tomorrow at the same time. Until then, Assalamu alaikum.
أنا أحبك يا شهر الخير لأنك أحلى أيامي أحب أزور أحبابي وأخوالي وعمامي. أنا أحبك يا شهر الخير لأنك أحلى أيامي. أنا أحبك يا شهر الخير يا